Good morning and welcome to the 20th Annual MIID Conference hosted by the NAD, the Ohio Department of Developmental Disabilities, the Ohio Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services. I'm so glad that you're here this morning. And if you're watching the replay, that's just as great too. So I'm Holly Jones and I'm going to lead you through a 30-minute morning mindfulness session. So to begin right now, you could just type in the chat how you're feeling. You could use a word, you could use an emoji, you could, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being I feel like crap, 10 being I feel wonderful, just take a moment, tune in, ask yourself, how am I showing up right now? Dan Siegel calls it name it to tame it, and I've heard name it to frame it. So it's just nice kind of to see the different feelings that are out there and to remind us that we are not alone. And as you take a minute to do that now, I just want to set us up. So the intention of this 30-minute practice is going to be on focused awareness, because I find that one of the best ways to support our resilience is to check in with our mental health by focusing inward. And you can do this throughout your day. It doesn't have to be something that you set aside time for. Hopefully, you don't have to set aside time for it, because once you start these practices, they become habitual. So I'm going to offer you some things that you could do if you still feel like you need to practice self-care sort of in secret. But I'm also going to offer some things that you could do maybe with your coworkers. So when you're ready, as you can see, I'm in a chair, this is my kitchen chair. If you're using an office chair, just lock those wheels. And we will get started with breath awareness and movement. So if you've never done anything like this, no worries. So starting with your feet underneath you, if you need to slide to the edge of your chair to make that happen, do whatever is necessary. So you can move around in your chair a little bit to really feel your feet planted underneath you. And then let that go. And let's start to roll our shoulders up and back and down. So no big deal here, right? We're just gonna start with rolling our shoulders, unless your shoulders feel really tight, and then maybe this is a big deal for you. Tuning in with what sensations do you notice? Simple movement, right? This is one you could do when you're getting ready to go into maybe a tense situation, is just notice, how are my shoulders feeling? And then you can bring your fingertips to your shoulders and start to do those rolls from the elbows. Rolling them up, back, and down. And then sometimes after I do a few in one direction, I like to do a few in the other direction. Now I'm going at my pace, so I encourage you to go at your pace. So it doesn't have to be like me. You don't have to match me. You're tuning inward. And a few more. Now with this last, let's say 2, I want you to inhale for half of your circle and exhale for half of your circle. Whether you're going forward or backward, doesn't matter. You don't have to change it. Just inhale for half and exhale for half. And then let that go. Now we're going to interlace our fingers and we're going to reach forward. So a lot of times we're using devices, right? And that gets really tight for our forearms and our wrists. So keep your elbows bent to start with and see how this feels across your chest. And then if you like it, then you can start to straighten your elbows and really reach and extend through your fingers and your wrists. If you continue, you can stretch overhead. So overhead could be any amount here. It doesn't have to be towards your ceiling, but if the range of motion you have in your body allows for that, then maybe you like that. So maybe extend through. So still press down into those feet. So pressing into your feet and lengthening up through your fingers. And then maybe rounding the back. As you bring your fingers back forward, round through your spine and release your hands to your legs. Okay, so now we're gonna interlace our fingers and place them behind our neck. So when we start in this position, again, planting your heels into the floor and allowing your sitting bones to have weight. So make your sitting bones sharp in your chair, and then that will allow your spine to lengthen up. So from the base of your spine, get really tall in your seat. And then if you like, you can start to open up your elbows out to the sides. And then as you exhale, we're we're gonna make this contraction. So taking your chin towards your chest and your elbows towards each other. As you inhale, we're gonna open up and expand. Feel that across your chest. And then as you exhale, we're gonna fold inward. And again, you're following your natural breath cycle. Last time here. Now we'll interlace our hands again behind our head. Release one hand by your side. And pause here for a moment and feel that opening you've got across the side that you've got open up. Allow the elbow, if it's been creeping forward, allow the elbow to open up. And even right there, just sort of notice how that feels. More space maybe, more breath maybe, just notice. And then from here, we're gonna make some crosses, some backslashes and forward slashes, I'll call it. So you're gonna come downward as you exhale and then lift across on your inhale. So think about a pencil on the tip of your nose, and we're gonna draw across to the opposite hip and then back up towards the corner of your ceiling. And we're just noticing here with the hand behind the head, how the back of our head feels. We're gonna do some experimenting with our back body. So just get a sensation here with your hand behind your head, how that feels. You can pause here and then make, just with your head, just make some gentle no and gentle yes. Then pause there, don't move anything. Take that bottom hand that's been relaxing and take it to the other side, and then use that hand to kind of lift your head back up over center. Pause for a second in the center, and then remove the hair that's covering your face and release the other hand. So now we'll do the other side. So again, I like to start by just noticing if my elbow is kind of creeping in. Can I open it up? And when I do, I find more space. And now I get this breath awareness that comes into this side of my chest. Maybe that's true for you, maybe it's not. And then we'll start to make those forward slashes and back slashes. So as you exhale, coming across the opposite hip, and then as you exhale, coming towards the opposite corner ceiling. Have you lost connection with your heels and with your hips? If you have, just bring your attention back there, because remember, those are supporting us. They're not just separate, everything's connected. It's an entire line of energy that's happening. Come back to center, and then we'll make those no's and yeses. So no, just with our head here, we're just making a no shape, and then we'll make a yes shape. And now taking the bottom hand, bringing it back behind your head, and then using it to help lift your head back up, so your neck didn't have to do a lot of work there. All right, now we're gonna go into mountain pose. Now, I'm gonna offer it with breath awareness and really focused attention, body awareness. So I'm using a metaphor that I first learned from Roshi Joan Halifax, and this is called strong back, soft front. And I'm gonna combine this with mountain pose, because I think mountain pose, because it is so foundational in the yoga world and just in our ability to tune in and show up, but I also want us to be aware of what the power of mountain pose can hold for us. So we'll start seated and then we'll move our way to standing. If you want to stay seated, that's perfectly fine. So we're going to press our feet down. Now when you press your feet down and press your sitting bones down, especially if you're in your chair right now, you can make those sitting bones kind of sharp, and with your hands on your legs, you can feel the engagement of your legs, right? We don't want to do this all the time. That would be creating too much tension. But right now, I want you to engage that so that you can feel the energy. So when we press our feet down and really give some weight into the chair that's supporting us, this is centering us. This is preparing us so that we understand the firm foundation under which we are supported. And then as we are pressing down, maybe you start to notice that your spine can extend upwards. So we've done a lot for our spine. We've done lots of different movements, and we'll do some twists in a minute. So there are 7 directions that our spine can go. The one that most people tend to forget is the elongation. So when we approach a pose, or when we approach a difficult situation, maybe just finding our feet allows us to settle our weight, settle our body, so that we can become lighter and lifted through our chest. And when we're lighter and lifted through our chest, we're more open to receive. But we need to balance this, right? So we can't just receive, we're receiving all the time. If we receive too often, we can become overwhelmed. So to balance this, we need to find that firm foundation. It starts with our feet, it comes up through our legs, and through our back body. So the back body is there to support us. So if you can right now, actually let's do this. Turn around for a second and just look at the wall behind you. Just look at the wall behind you. Notice something on the wall behind you, and then come back around. Now, can you still, as you come back around, can you remember what that thing that you noticed, that spot on the wall that you noticed? It's still there, even though you're looking forward, it's still there, right? So now let's come back to our internal focused awareness. With a strong back, we can feel the support of not just our body, but the wall behind us. Imagine that the wall behind you is the support for you. So breathe now and take up space into the wall behind you. Imagine that this form that we have contains us, right? But we can actually be bigger than that, just by allowing ourselves to feel the support. So our back body is that support, just like the wall behind you is the support for the room. Your back body is there to support you, not just physically, but emotionally. And so as we have that sturdy foundation, that strength, that's more than just how much can you deadlift or something like that. I mean, that's great, but it's more than that. It's very subtle. As we feel that support, then we can start to feel the ability to take in, because we're not going to collapse, because we've got the support that we need. So there's this equanimity. There's this ability for me to say, I see you, I hear you, I can be with you, to the person that we are supporting. Because we know that, in a way, we have what we need in us to take care of ourselves. So we're not going to take on this other person's suffering, but we can be open, we can be with them, and hopefully, if our job requires it, we can problem solve with them in a collaborative way, so that it's not over-efforting on either part. So this is the strong back, soft front that we can take with us every day into every situation. And this is mountain pose. So we rolled our shoulders before. Maybe you need to do that again. Maybe all that talk, if it was too much, maybe your shoulders started to creep up to your ears. So roll your shoulders. And maybe you need to shake out your hands. So sometimes when we're thinking, our hands get kind of tight. So let it go, just shake it out. All right, continuing on, let's inhale the arms overhead. And again, overhead can be cactus. We're gonna inhale, extend. So press your feet down, lift yourself up, and then we'll come into a twist. So twisting to one side, pressing the feet down, inhaling, coming back up center, and then exhaling to the other side. Inhaling and exhaling. So don't let my words complicate things. Just take it in, let it wash over you, and then, like we're doing right now, just wring it out. This next time, when you twist, I'm going to invite you to stay here. So you'll continue breathing with those slow inhales and long exhales. Pressing into the feet and allowing the twist to come from the midsection. And then your gaze can be in line with your heart, or if you want, you could even start to take your gaze over that back shoulder. And notice if I disengage my feet here, if I kind of like forget about it and let them go loose, what happens to my posture? What happens to your posture? What happens to your twist? Now re-engage your feet, re-engage your sitting bones. What happens to your posture? What happens to your twist? Inhale, come back up center, lift your arms, let them be free, and then exhale to the other side. And again, invitation to stay here, but keep breathing. So never hold your breath. Let your breath be smooth and fluid. And if you want to try that little experiment here, we're going to back out of the pose a little bit. So let things kind of go, right? We're not always going to be able to hold mountain pose. We're not always going to be able to engage through our heels and through our sitting bones. But notice when we're in that pose, what happens to the sensation? What happens to the energy when we let it go? Now re-engage. What happens to your twist? What happens to your pose? If it's okay for your neck, you can look a little bit over that shoulder. If it gets to a point that you're saying, nope, didn't like that, then bring your gaze back over in line with your heart. And then when you're ready, release all the way back and roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Now we're gonna come to standing. If you prefer to sit, stay seated, otherwise come to standing. Okay, so now if you're standing, you might have a chair nearby, which could be helpful because we're gonna do a little bit of balancing things. If you're still seated in your chair, I'll walk you through the same thing that we're gonna be doing. So first we're gonna come to mountain pose. So if you're in the chair, you know what to do. You're gonna press down through your heels, press down through your sitting bones in your chair. If you're standing, same concept, press down through your feet. So I'm pressing down through my heels, but I don't squeeze my toes here. I just press down through my heels. And then I lift the muscles of my legs upward. So lift the muscles of your legs upward as your heels press downward. Get that sensation, up, down, go down to come up. I know it's a little confusing. And then roll the shoulders up, back, and down. The head is a natural extension of your spine, so no tension. So sometimes I like to look from side to side to make sure I haven't created tension. And then allow your jaw to be soft. Allow the space between your eyebrows to be soft. Allow your vision to be just straight ahead. Just find a focal point on the wall. Breathe here. Notice that you have this container of strength as well as this openness for vulnerability. So we're allowed to be vulnerable because we have this strength and this support behind us. Sometimes I like to think about even people who have supported me. So you might feel the presence of someone who's had an influence in your life. You can even bring them to mind. Like they're right behind you, they're supporting you, they're lifting you up, they got your back, right? We say that all the time. This is what that feels like. This is something you could do for self-care, and no one will ever know. So it can be this subtle, but also this powerful. From mountain pose, we're gonna add some movement with breath. So find yourself grounded and lifted and bright. Find a focal point on the wall ahead of you. We're gonna use our arms as we inhale, and they're gonna lift to any amount. We're gonna like paint the wall in front of us, and then lower our hands as we exhale. And then out to the side, we're gonna inhale and exhale. And you're gonna do this at your pace, so you don't have to follow me. I'm just giving you the suggestion of linking the movement with the breath. As you exhale, notice how the navel contracts towards the spine. It's very subtle. It's not a harsh contraction. It just naturally happens that the navel contracts towards the spine, and that protects our back body. Now this time you can add some balance. So even if you're doing this in a chair, as you inhale, lift your heels, and then exhale, lower the heels and the arms together. And you can do that out to the side. Contract navel towards spine, lower heels and hands together. If balance is a little bit of a challenge, you've got your chair right there. So if you're standing and you need to reach out, you can use your chair. You can do this without the arms by lifting the heels and lowering the heels. So you have so many options here. I'm gonna add one more thing. So as we inhale, if you're lifting your heels, stay in the pose, exhale the breath, contract the navel towards the spine. Now in this pause, so no in or out breath, lower heels and hands at the same time. Try that one more time. Lift your heels and your hands, come up to your fullest expression of your inhale, stay in the pose, exhale all the way, so exhale all the air out. Before your next inhale, lower heels and hands. That pause is essential, so really connect with it. We're going to continue on, and we're going to build on this. We'll continue on with our inhale, lifting the heels if you like. Exhale. And then we're going to draw our hands on the backs of our legs. If you don't like to touch yourself, then just draw your hands towards the backs of your legs. And then exhale, front of the legs. So it's a 4-part. So this will be 1, exhale 2, inhale 3, exhale 4. And notice that I keep a slight bend in my knees. So, we want to work our legs a little bit, but we don't want to overstretch our hamstrings. So inhale, stay in the pose, exhale, lower heels and hands. Inhale, exhale, navel towards spine, and come back up. Notice the subtle difference. Let's do this one more time, just so you get a sense of it. Inhale to whatever your fullest expression is. Pause in the pose, exhale the breath, navel towards spine. In the pause, lower heels and hands. Inhale, backs of the legs. Exhale, in the pause, lifting back up. So the reason I spend so much time emphasizing the navel contracting, that helps to lift you up out of something. So it's supporting the back muscles. So just as much as you would do crunches or abdominal exercises, which are great for supporting your core, so is identifying the subtlety and using that to your advantage. So the next time you drop something and you go bend over and pick it up, most of the time we don't really think about it. So we bend over, we pick something up, and then we go, oh, my back hurts, what happened? So if you can think about it, I know it happens quickly, if you can think about it, when you bend over next time, use your abdominals, engage them on an exhale, and then come back up. And just see if it makes a difference for you. The reason I emphasize that space of emptiness is because that's the transformation. That's why we do these practices. So we create a form so that we can open ourselves up to what is greater, which is formless. So I hope you got just a taste of that. We're gonna go on now to chair pose. So I'm gonna bring the chair over to show you some different options. You don't need to use it. You might want to use it. So it's an option for you. If you're using the chair, come to sit in your chair. Get yourself grounded again. So even chair is mountain pose at the core. So you're gonna lift yourself up any amount that feels okay. If it feels okay, you can go further and come into the classical kind of chair pose with your arms extended. And then you can even play with extending your arms up overhead. This is the challenge here. So wherever you are, ask your legs to work for you. So you're gonna feel some heat. You might feel your heart at this point. Feel that chair pose, feel those sitting bones, feel those heels, and then lifting through your chest and your upper body. Now we're gonna come out of this. I'm gonna ask you to press into your legs. Use your legs to get you out of this pose. So press down, press down, press down, press down, lift up, and release your arms by your sides. Okay, shake your legs out for a second. We're gonna do that again. Again, if you're using the chair, if this is new, or maybe your legs are tired today, whatever it is, start in your chair, and you can play with lifting just your sitting bones. You can play with lifting your arms. If you really like the heat, if you like it spicy, extend your arms up to any amount. You could clasp your hands, whatever feels appropriate for you. You know your body best. But from here, we're gonna breathe. We're gonna feel our muscles. We're gonna say good things about ourselves and about our yoga teacher. And from here to come out, we're gonna lift from our shoulders. So wherever your shoulders are, lift from your shoulders, less heels, more shoulders. Lift, 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 lift. Up and out. Shake out the legs. Maybe give them a pat. We're gonna do it one more time. I promise this is the last time. So pick your chair pose, pick your passion. If the arms were extended, extend them again. And notice this is round number 3. What's happening in those legs? Do you feel your breath? Do you feel your back body? Do you feel your heels? What's happening across your chest and your neck? Can you still look from side to side? If you want, you can take your gaze upward. Maybe your hands can clasp if it's okay in your shoulders. If not, separate your hands, take your gaze upward. And from here to come out, I want you to lift from your fingertips. So lift from your fingertips, just focus on the fingertips, lift, 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 and release. And now come to your chair. Say nice things right now. Thank goodness it's over. Give your legs a little pat. What did you notice each time we did that? So I'm guessing that the first time felt the hardest, the second time felt a little easier, and the third time probably felt least effortful. And that's true because I made you focus on those areas. I wanted to do it as a demonstration that sometimes the easiest thing could be right in front of us and we're just not reaching, we're just not seeing it. So sometimes if we can shift our perspective and have that mind shift, we can reach towards what's right there waiting for us. So just play around with it, share it with a friend, let me know what you think. And now we're gonna finish out with a few minutes of mindfulness in the chair. And we're gonna tune into our breath. So breath awareness is really the first step, is developing a relationship with our breath. So for this, just finding that soft inhale and long exhale. And for a couple of these, let's take the inhale through the nose and then open the mouth and sigh out the exhale. So the poses that we did, we used a little bit of effort, and then we used progressively less effort, and then we used least effort. So at first we had to notice ourselves in mountain pose, but by the end I could say, find your mountain pose, and you knew what that felt like. So less mental effort. With chair pose, we started with a lot of effort to exit the pose, then some effort, and then very little effort. So that's shifting a mind shift, or shifting our perspective. So the same can be said for our yoga practice, our meditation practice. In the beginning, it takes some effort. And over time, it takes less effort and more awareness, because we're really practicing tuning into the most subtle quality we can find. Now, I like to close out my classes by rubbing the palms together, using the friction to create a little bit of heat in the palms, a little bit of sensation or energy in the palms. And then you can cover and cup your eyes, or you can cover and cup your heart. So I'm gonna go for my eyes. If you were wearing glasses, maybe you wanna cover your heart. And when you're ready, slowly open the eyes. If the palms are there, just open and blink your eyes into your palms. Release your palms and then lift your gaze. So I look forward to practicing with you again soon. Enjoy your conference, and as always, be well.